Hey everybody, welcome back to Tim Travels. It's Terry, your host. So it's Saturday, March 4th. I'm here at the global corporate headquarters in Springfield, Missouri. It's a lovely day, low 60s, plenty of sun. I can see the moon over here. But yeah, no clouds, just a few contrails from planes flying by. So I picked up a load in up in the northern part of the mitten, like the finger area, the knuckles. I picked it up in the knuckles, and then I went down to the wrist where I crossed into Indiana. And by that time that storm was coming through, I got stuck for about half an hour on US 131 because there was like a kind of an offset head-on collision, a couple of pickup trucks. Of course, they were both four-wheel drive. I don't think anybody got hurt really bad because the ambulance came and the Michigan State Troopers blocked off the road for a little bit, but you know, it was cleared up in about a half an hour. So, and you know, when I have to wait for an accident, I'm always grateful that I'm waiting for it and not in it. Although one time we had to, I think we were on the way to Disney World and we had to wait like hours for this accident in Georgia. And at the time, you know, this is probably ill-advised because I had my kids in the car, but I was like, man, somebody better be dead. And after we got up to where the accident was, I'm pretty sure that had happened. Maybe more than one person too. So several things going on today. I actually like shut down early at the Loves, and I think it's technically Goshen, Indiana. Snowing crazy. Luckily, I was just like, I'll do a 10 because this load's going to Carson, California. So I was like, but I don't have to be out there until Tuesday, and I don't even have an appointment yet. So I was like, well, I'll just shut down. And it was snowing crazy. I mean, it was just like plop, plop. It was really this water-laden snow, not powdery at all. Fortunately, the Loves has a big enough parking lot that they contract to get the snow plowed. So it wasn't just some dude with a pickup truck. It was like bigger trucks, and they had a small payloader, and they also had a front end loader there with a backhoe, but it had the snowplow on it. So the parking lot was nice and clean. Got up about 3 o'clock this morning. Parking lot was icy, but it was, you know, there wasn't a bunch of snow. I got on the road, and you know, I've said this before and I'll say it again. If I gotta run in inclement weather, I'd rather be in, you know, Michigan, Illinois, Indiana, PA, New York, Wisconsin, Minnesota than down in the former Confederacy. Because the roads were, if they weren't, you know, just watery, like that's it, just, you know, damp, little tire spray. I didn't really experience any slipperiness. You know, I took it easy, but you know, but yeah, I drove I actually went over to Panuca because the fuel was cheap over there, and then I headed down 55 to St. Louis. But yeah, so that's my story so far. Couple of things going on. Big day. This is sports history. Probably this is the one story I didn't expect to see, right? You could have said, oh, Tom Brady's going to be the quarterback for the 49ers, or Lamar Jackson got traded to the Bears, or any crazy thing like that. No. What's even more insane, Katie Ledecky, if you don't know her name, by the way, you should. She is one of the crazy, most dominant swimmers ever. She lost to a gal from Australia today at a long course, which is actually the Olympic-sized swimming pool. A long course meet in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. She lost for the first time in the United States since 2014. She hasn't lost a race. This girl swims constantly, right? Not lost a race since 2014 in the United States, in a swim meet in the United States. She's won 7 Olympic gold medals. She is, I mean, you know, like, I guess the comparison would be Michael Phelps, but she is as dominant as Michael Phelps. If you've watched it, just look her up on YouTube if you don't know who I'm talking about, and watch what she does at the Olympics. I mean, in a 1500 meter, she will finish like an entire pool length in front of like the silver medalist. That's how dominant she is, which is insane in swimming. Anyway, Katie Ledecky, she's from Bethesda, Maryland. Michael Phelps also from Maryland. So yeah, pretty amazing that she, you know, that she lost, actually, as good a swimmer as she is. But anyway, so that's going on. So I wanted to talk about, I kind of wanted to talk about a couple of things, but let's focus on just one for right now. So I've talked about speed limiters and you know, some of the stuff that the FMCSA wants to do. And also, by the way, the EPA is doing some stuff that's gonna really be a game changer if these rules go into effect when it comes to emissions from large trucks. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about on these speed limiters is one of the arguments against them has been, oh, it'll increase crashes. And the other thing that's going on is the idea that everybody is going to be subjected to ELD. And one of the arguments there has also been, hey, since ELD was mandated back in, I don't know if it was, I mean, I've used it since 2019, but I don't know when the actual mandate happened. I think maybe late 2019 or early 2020. But in any event, you know, groups like OOIDA, and other, you know, truck driver groups have said, well, you know, fatal truck crashes have gone up since the ELD mandate. And I was like, and they claim that, and you know, first of all, I'm always going to say this, right? I'm an evidence-based guy, right? Correlation is not causation, right? And it's one of those fallacies, it's one of those traps that people fall for. And you know, it's no different than what a politician would say. It's no different than what marketers do to persuade people. And you know, so I was like, well, okay, so fatal crashes have gone up. Does that mean it's because the ELD? And the idea was, well, the ELD makes people speed because now you can't, you basically, what the argument was, and I think this is specious in and of itself, but what the argument was is that because we can't manipulate our logs illegally, we have to do something else illegal, speeding, to make $1, to make a living. Okay, I happen to disagree with that, but and the reason I do is because every job I've had in this industry has been, I've been on a governed truck, and the fastest one I've ever been on was governed at 67. Every other one was at 65, and I've been on ELD the whole time, and I make a living, right? Look at me, I'm not even starving. But you know, I'm like, okay, well, let's just see what this is about. Well, it turns out that fatal crashes are up involving trucks. But I just learned maybe not just, I probably learned this 2 weeks ago. In that category of fatal truck crashes, so quotations, right? That includes any truck that is over 10,000 pounds gross vehicle weight, and get this, used in commercial or non-commercial purposes. So if somebody has a dually and they're towing like their big ass yard tractor, and that, you know, that vehicle weight is over 10,000, and they get in a fatal wreck, that counts as a fatal truck wreck, even though it's not commercial, it's not, you know, a semi, and it certainly isn't subject to the ELD mandate. That includes straight trucks, it includes little bread delivery vans, anything that's over 10,000 pounds, even non-commercial. So it turns out that people like you and I that drive the big rigs, that are subject to the ELD mandate, you know, we may or may not be involved in more fatal crashes, but I think right now there's no data to support that. And even people that are subjected to the ELD mandate that are maybe like driving straight trucks, or I don't know, you know, like the, what do you call them, the hotshot guys, you know, this includes like some farm truck. Like I worked on farms, you know, every farmer had a truck. It weighed more than 10,000 pounds, especially when it was loaded with bins of apples, or, you know, bins of carrots or onions or whatever we were working on, you know. You know, like if you ever been picking up fruit in Cali, a lot of times you'll sit there and wait, and there'll be all these smaller flatbed trucks coming in with, you know, raspberries or strawberries or whatever, and they're bringing them in, you know, 4 or 5 pallets at a time, a bunch of boxes, right? But I'm guessing they weigh 10,000 pounds. If they got in a fatal crash, it would count, right? No, that is commercial use. But the reason I bring all this up is because I want to be persuaded that something is a good idea. And if somebody has a good argument to support something, and I think this is just a problem in this country. I mean, it's a problem in Congress, it's a problem when companies make decisions. They use one tiny snippet of data and then they twist it in all sorts of different ways, like origami, and make it fit their narrative. And, you know, it's a really bad habit. And, you know, I'm going to say to the truckers out there that don't have ELD, right now, you don't have a compelling argument to not have ELD. And I think you should, because I got it and you should have to have it. And you're just going to have to deal with it, right? Like I do. You know, if I go 1 minute over, bang, I got a freaking green thing or a triangle lit up on my Qualcomm, and any police officer can find out that I violated my logs. Why should I have to be subjected to a standard, to a law that you're not? That's not equal protection under the law. So I hope they put the ELD mandate in for everybody, and everybody can just get over it. And, you know, there's plenty of ELD providers out there. You can get it on your phone, which I wish Prime would do. You know, you can get it on a tablet, you know, and people just need to deal with it. And, you know, same thing with the speed limiters. Like, people are saying, oh, well, there's going to be this speed differential and it's going to cause road rage, and you know, four-wheelers are going to get all pissed off at us, and they're going to bust out their bars and, you know, start wailing away on us and stuff. If you don't know what a bar is, you got to watch, like, you got to talk to a Marine, an old Marine, if you don't know what a bar is. Browning automatic rifle. By the way, was favored, you know, contrary to popular belief, favored by a lot of gangsters, including Clyde Barrow. Browning automatic rifles, not Tommy guns. Anyway, you know, the idea that, you know, limited speed to like 70 miles an hour is going to like put people in a poorhouse, I'm just not buying it. You know, and the idea, and here's the other thing too. So many states already have disparate speed limits, right? So like cars can go 70, trucks have to go 65. Cars can go, like in Illinois, some places it's cars 65, buses 60, trucks 55, right? Talk about disparate. And people would be like, oh, well, Illinois, blah, blah, blah. But is there evidence there's road rage? Is there evidence that, you know, that this is a huge problem? I don't think so. I mean, because first of all, most truckers, you know, don't do the posted speed limit when it's 55. I do the posted speed limit when it's 65 because I can only go 64. But like last night, I drove through the greater Chicagoland area. I had my cruise set at 60, you know, which means I'm going 59. I did it 59 into 60, 59 into 55, you know. I mean, so let's be honest about this stuff, and you know, let's look out for our industry in ways that are meaningful, you know, that'll help people. I think one of the things that we need to do, like, I think that the legislation on bathrooms, I think that's something that helps the industry. So, you know, all the people that are talking about, oh, well, you know, it's going to cause all these problems, there's no evidence of it. And when you say stuff like that, you just sound like, you know, Chicken Little. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on this. Hope everybody's doing well. I don't think spring's here yet. I think I-80 in Wyoming's closed again today. But you know, it feels like it wants to be spring. So we'll see. All right, so I will talk to everybody next time. Thanks.